Hi, my name's Andy Cotgreave, Technical Evangelist at Tableau, and today I'm going to look at the dashboard we used in the Gartner BI Bake-Off in March 2018 in Texas. Gartner gave us data sets on the opioid crisis, looking at overdoses and prescription rates of opioids, and asked us to find a story, make conclusions, maybe try and drive some actions. The experience was humbling for me. As a British guy, I hadn't appreciated the severity of the crisis across the US. But let's start off with an overview of the dashboard. We have a map of overdose rates in the top left and then a table showing the lookup details. On the bottom, we have the prescription data. We've got Medicaid spending by state, tree map breaking it down by specialty, and then a scatter plot showing every single doctor in the US who is prescribing opioids. The red ones are very high proportion prescribers. And there are some outliers. What we can see among these 700,000 doctors is Mark Murphy. Now he's in Morgan, Alabama. One click and we can see all the doctors in Morgan, Alabama in context with all the others. He's in pain management. He's an outlier on all categories. Turns out Mark Murphy, visibly an outlier, is actually under investigation from the federal government for overprescription of opioids. But let's start our exploration in detail on the map. California clearly has lots of overdoses, but there's lots of people in California. So I'm going to normalize this by population and watch the map as we change the measure to a population rate for overdoses, and the heart of the crisis jumps out. West Virginia has the most overdose deaths. Now, what we're seeing here is a Viz in tooltip. This is a feature we've added to Tableau that allows you to put a chart or charts inside any single mark's tooltip on any chart, revealing much more information in the context of that mark. On this, we're seeing a couple of lines. The red line shows the changing of the overdose rate over time. So while West Virginia has a high overdose death rate, we can see that Maryland actually has a skyrocketing opioid overdose rate. Now, they're not all fatal. That's why that number's higher than the deaths. So let's click on Maryland and explore what is happening there. Well, we can see the raw numbers over here and the percent growth rates. In fact, if we sort by percent change, we can see that the highest growth is with synthetic opioids. So that's fentanyl and drugs similar to that. And it's part of the pipeline of prescription drugs to addiction and then tragically to overdosing. As data-driven people, can we use the prescription data to think, are there interventions? Are there different ways of managing healthcare? Can we go and find the doctors who we could target and maybe say, can we try to break this pipeline? Well, the scatter plot is now updated to show just the doctors in Maryland. And we can, again, click on any of the doctors to see the other doctors in their peer group. Maybe who are the doctors in Maryland in pain management. What we could do, though, is select the doctors who are to the right of this vertical line. These are the top 1% of prescribers in Maryland by proportion of opioid prescriptions that they provide. And we can see exactly the which specialties they're in. And what we could do, if we wanted to take action, is jump to a second dashboard looking specifically at Maryland and seeing where the specialties are concentrated and which counties the concentrations are in and who are the doctors prescribing these opioids, and maybe taking this data, working with those doctors to say, can we reduce the proportion of opioids being prescribed? It's obviously a very, very difficult problem to solve. This would be just one piece of work in a multi-faceted solution. But that's the dashboard we built, and thank you for watching the video.